Hi, this is Whitney, Kell, and I am recording the Love Cards by Robert Lee Camp. I'm going to do the Nine of Hearts, the Universal Love Card. I've used this in my coaching and for my self-awareness, and I just read the nine for all nines, and I have been studying numerology for a while, but the meaning of it was really powerful for me to read today. So I just wanted to share that that's why I'm recording this, because whenever I read from this book for somebody about their birthday, it lands for me as well. There's another book you might want to check out as well by Robert Lee Camp. It's called Your Cards of Destiny. It'll give you a reading for the whole year. We're going to do the Universal Love Card. It's the Nine of Hearts. If your birthday is August 30th, coming up, September 28th, October 26th, November 24th, or December 22nd, you are the Nine of Hearts. Now we're going to read, what does that mean, darling? The Universal Love Card. The Nine of Hearts is a card of great fulfillment, great loss, or both. This card and its displacement, the Seven of Diamonds, are both spiritual numbers, and the fulfillment that comes is rarely personal until all personal desires are set aside and put in their proper place. This is the double Saturn card. These people cannot deviate from what is true and right without swift and sometimes bitter rebuke. All nines have come to settle affairs and debts from the past, to pay what they owe and move on. For the Nine of Hearts, there will be some completions or endings of key relationships that represent their completion of certain soul chapters. I like that, soul chapters. If these endings are resisted, they will be interpreted as disappointment and loss instead of the graduations that they truly represent. It's a really nice reframe. Their life path is full of spiritual lessons, aren't all of ours? Those who heed the call and adhere to higher values will have seemingly blessed lives, while those who give in to their fears and escapist tendencies will suffer greatly. There are likely to be financial losses during certain periods of their life, and these can be interpreted as payment of past obligations, which is what they truly are. They are givers endowed with great minds and hearts to share with the world. They are found in the counseling fields out of their natural desire to give to others. They must be careful not to play the martyr and to keep it on a business basis. Their intellectual creativity is unsurpassed and can be applied to any field of science or business with great success. Part of their challenge is to use this creativity maturely and not to travel to the lower path of dishonesty or cheating. The Nine of Hearts is either a very happy giving person or one who has suffered many disappointments in life. It is always up to the individual to manifest his or her higher side, even when working with such a spiritually challenging soul pattern. Some of the Nine of Hearts issues concerning relationships. Unless operating on the higher and universal side of the nine, the people of this card can have some of the most difficult personal relationships of any card in the deck. There's bound to be loss, and it is only their attitude that can turn these losses into completions or fulfillment. They are somewhat restless emotionally and are likely to either change their minds about what kind of relationship they want, or attract those who cannot make the commitment that love demands. The Nine of Hearts can be a very codependent card. Many of them adopt a victim-savior attitude in their personal relationships, creating a multitude of problems and making it harder to sort through the challenges when they appear. If they stop telling themselves that they are doing everything to help their partners, they can get to the truth faster and find the satisfaction they seek. The Nine of Hearts and Seven of Diamonds, karmic soul twins. The Nine of Hearts is one of the four special birth cards we call the semi-fixed cards. There are two pairs of cards in this four, and each pair shares a special relationship with their other half. The Nine of Hearts and Seven of Diamonds are one of these magical pairs, and they have their own unique place among the cards. They're almost opposites in some ways, and yet they are nearly identical at the same time. The Seven of Diamonds sits in the Venus position in the life spread, which represents pleasantness, beauty, abundance of material comforts, and pleasure. When we double this pleasure aspect, we can imagine a life that is the height of pleasure and ease. Breathing that in, the height of pleasure and ease, but perhaps too much so. The Nine of Hearts sits in the Saturn position, which is nearly the opposite of the Seven Diamonds position. Saturn represents limitations, karmic debts, and difficult lessons to learn in life. When doubled in this manner, we can only imagine how challenging the life may be. So we can see these two cards at nearly opposite ends of the spectrum as indicated by their position in the life spread. However, what is unique about these cards is that each new year, their birth card moves to the opposite spot in the life spread. So though at birth they are situated as described in the very next year of life, they switch places. The Nine of Hearts moves to the Venus position, and the Seven of Diamonds moves to the Saturn position. This continues throughout their entire life, a phenomenon that is unique to these two cards alone and that sets them apart from the rest of the deck. Because these two cards switch places each year, their life experiences are often very much the same. Though they experience the heights of pleasure and good fortune at times, they also experience the opposite extreme of painful lessons and challenges. There are dramatic emotional losses, Nine of Hearts, just as often as there are huge financial gains, Seven of Diamonds. Both cards are highly spiritual, being both spiritual numbers, and their success in life depends a great deal on how much they've integrated a spiritual philosophy into their lifestyle. When a Nine of Hearts meets a Seven of Diamonds person, they have the potential for a very uniquely intimate relationship. Because they are so uniquely connected and share so many of the same qualities, they have the possibility to connect a few other birth cards can. The union of these two cards could be one of great depth and intimacy, but by the same token, because they are so much alike, the mirroring principle will be a major factor in the relationship. If they haven't yet learned to accept the various parts of their own personality, great friction could result that could keep them apart. If they have learned to love themselves, this could be a match made in heaven, one that few other cards are capable of experiencing. Ooh. So I like the Nine of Cards, the universal. If you have challenges or are struggling and you read this card and you hear yourself in the negative sides, what I've experienced is the more work I do, personal and spiritual growth, the less I relate to the challenging parts. And sometimes it's when I was younger. Some people will relate to this in different ways, but I do hope this landed with you beautifully. The Universal Love card, the Nine of Hearts. Look below to find your planetary ruling card, and may you have blessings. Ciao.